It's got not just one, but 6 different video games packed into a single console. Called Neo Geo, or New Land, this new multi-game video game system is the latest attraction from Japan's SNK Corporation. Each game cartridge operates off of a powerful 16-bit main microprocessor, and because it's got 64 megabytes of ROM, each Neo Geo game has superior graphics, including 3D effects and sound capabilities. Arcade operators say because of the high quality and variety in games, Neo Geo attracts a second group of players besides the kids.
We're finding that not only appeals to the youngsters, but to the older players as well, because it has things like golf and baseball that if a parent is walking by and sees the game, they'll try it because they know what golf and baseball are all about, as opposed to walking up to a shoot-'em-up type of game where they might not know where they're trying to get to.
SNK has spruced up the video game console by adding a jack for headphones as well as a slot for a memory card.
You can stick that into the game at the end of your play, put it in there, and you can start from that point when you play it again. For those that have played video games, even at home, you know you have to go through many levels to reach the finish. And with this memory card, you can stick it in from the level that you started when you finished the last time.
The memory cards can also be used in the Neo Geo home units that have the same games as the arcades. That's a gimmick that's sure to boost sales. For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Maria Gabriel.
For people who grew up in the computer era, their first taste of digital technology was probably with a video game, a hugely successful invention that first made its appearance in the mid-70s. Since the first Pong game back in 1976, the industry boomed, and today's computer video games have become increasingly sophisticated and realistic. Nintendo now has the lion's share of the $5 billion video game market, but it has plenty of rivals who fight as hard as any screen-bound warrior. This year's CES showed the unmistakable impact of new computer technology on new game technology. Sega of America brought out a portable color system to compete directly with Nintendo's ubiquitous Game Boy. The Sega Game Gear features a backlit, high-resolution 3-inch screen displaying up to 32 colors. Game Gear also offers stereo sound, and the unit can be transformed into a television tuner with an adapter due out in the fall of this year. Sega will offer Game Gear versions of 2 new games, one featuring a well-known mouse, the other a less renowned hedgehog. Portable video games sell in quantities that would astonish any computer hardware maker. Over 40,000 Game Gears were sold in Japan within 2 days of its introduction. A month later, back orders exceeded 600,000 units. On this side of the Pacific, Sega plans to start shipping the Game Gear in April for a suggested price of about $160. Game cartridges will sell for about $30. Nintendo had some new games and accessories on display, but the 16-bit Super Famicom, already for sale in Japan, was not among them. Inside the enormous Nintendo Pavilion, the company demonstrated its 4-player adapter, a set of cables that permits head-to-head competition among 4 players. The adapter sells for under $30. Nolan Bushnell, inventor of Pong, the first video game, predicts even more interaction between computer chips and consumer electronics.
I believe that all of consumer electronics is in fact merging and becoming more computer-esque, if you would. You don't need to hit people over the head that there's a computer in it. What you really want to do is have the tool, have the computer be a tool for you, not necessarily have you go through a big training thing so that you can use your equipment. You want the computer to be smarter than you are, and make it easier for you instead of have to train to operate this machine.
Handheld electronic games are no longer just for kids. For example, at this Sharper Image store, you can buy this little electronic game that plays bridge with you, and there's another one that lets you play chess. In fact, they have an electronic chess game here that actually talks to you. Indeed, the trend in portable electronic games is to mix the practical with the whimsical.
GameTech introduced software applications for the Nintendo Game Boy called Infogenius Productivity Packs. About all they have in common with video games is the hardware interface. The Infogenius programs are more suitable for business travelers, tourists, and students than game fanatics. In spite of the toy-like appearance of the Game Boy, GameTech is confident of its marketing ploy.
The reasoning behind it was that 46% of the Game Boy users are over 18 years of age, and they have had, as of yet, have had no software developed expressly for them. So Infogenius was developed to meet their needs. And there are over 5.5 million households which currently own a Game Boy unit. And there are adults in each of those households with software needs.
Infogenius unwrapped 5 packages at CES, including translators, a spell checker, a travel guide, and a personal organizer. Spanish and French translators each contain 300 phrases and over 12,000 words. The Infogenius Travel Guide contains hotel, restaurant, and tourist information on 20 American cities and includes an auto dialer. The Personal Organizer is a combination appointment book, world time clock, calculator, and address book. The Infogenius packages will be available in September for around $40 each. In another sign of merging computer applications and consumer hardware, Software Toolworks demonstrated the Miracle Piano teaching system. The Nintendo-based music instructor uses graphics with a video game feel and a keyboard synthesizer. The Miracle system blends video game lessons with technology more common to computers, such as music notation software and a MIDI port. The system includes a software function that customizes lessons to the learning level of the student. Miracle Piano for Nintendo retails for about $350. The final leap to the PC platform is scheduled for later this year. Mac and Amiga versions are also planned.